just to give you guys an idea of how much I'm personally learning in the process of doing this, thanks to YouTube and social media. When I first started looking into the Xjdub community, and I kept seeing all the videos of all of you out there who were giving your personal stories, who were completely putting it all on the line and telling your stories and putting that personal stuff out there like that. When I first started scanning through videos like that, I didn't really watch too many of them. I kind of dismissed it as just kind of like a vanity exercise. Oh, poor me, here's my story kind of thing. But that was in ignorance. Because, I have no business doing that because I haven't done that. I haven't had the guts to do that. Meanwhile, hundreds of you have had the guts. So I had no business dismissing those videos without having watched them as vanity exercises, because I've been watching some of them for the last couple of days, and actually I'm the vain one for not being as brave about this as you guys are being. I watched Trisha's personal story video. I watched another lady's personal story video. I'll link to it. I can't remember the name. I'll link to it. There's so many. And after watching them yesterday, I was compelled to put on clothes I haven't worn in over 2.5 years, to put a bag over my shoulder that I haven't put over my shoulder in over 2.5 years, and walk through the doors of a Kingdom Hall so that I could record as much of a meeting as I could with this device, so that I felt like I had even more of a right to say I belong to the Xjdub community, because as far as I'm concerned, you guys are the ones taking the lead here by putting out your stories like that. I'm not going to get into how impressed I am, but I'm impressed beyond words. So it was because of those videos, and because of how wrong I was, and because of how much I learned in challenging myself by watching the videos, that I went and recorded that video. I did it for you guys last night. I'm uploading it today. And speaking of personal stories, I did not enjoy that at all, sitting there. I hadn't been to a meeting where they made those changes, where they were using the ministry workbook instead of the Kingdom Ministry, where the videos were coming specially produced just for the meetings. I'd never seen one. Well, I did at the other meeting, but I lasted about 10 minutes in that other meeting. I was there for the full first segment last night. I think it's the duration of exposure that challenges us. So it's how long we hang in there at the carts that's important. So we're at the carts, and we've been doing it for a little bit, stumbling through the first ones, and then we're able to go up to the carts with some time having passed, some dust we've wiped off our knees and wiped off our arms after wiping out with the first few cart crash attempts, and then we're in a position to we're in a position to make the duration time longer. See, you sort of started to see it a little bit in some of in one of those videos where, because I wasn't going anywhere, you could tell that was what was starting to get them to sort of resort to the default mindset when it comes to former believers, right? It was gradually coming out, and then she wanted to completely stop the conversation, control the conversation until she was able to confirm, wait a minute, are you an apostate? Are you a former believer? Are you a former believer? Are you a former believer? She just couldn't wait to get an answer to that question. And then when she did, that was it. And that is what we're all challenging. Why is, quote, that it? When you find out you're talking to someone who was a former believer. When I've been talking to you, when I've been taking a personal interest in you, when I've been sincere about my own views, respecting the sincerity of your views, when you got the truth, when you started studying, who you started studying with, the impact it had on you. Here's my story. This is when I started studying the truth. This is the impact it had on me, right? And then you get to the part where, I'm not in the organization. You are still in the organization. But I will always want to, talk to you in the interest of learning. You want to shut this conversation down now after you've learned that I'm a former believer. And that's just one of many, many things we're trying to combat with the cart crashing. Anyway, I'm rambling, but it's first thing in the morning, and these are honest reactions.